So for this video, I want to talk about the games that have the most impact to me as a gamer and as a YouTuber too. I generally upload video game related stuff when it comes to my YouTube channel. I like using YouTube to share you guys with my passion for gaming, so I will include some of that content in this video other than the games that I feel that have the most impact on me as a gamer. But yeah, this video is pretty self-explanatory with the title, and if you've been paying attention to what I've been saying, I guess I'll get into the video. You're going to be seeing a lot of different gameplay videos that I can try to find and upload. So the first one I want to mention is the original Doom. This was my very first actual quote-unquote real game I've played when I was a lot younger, and I'm not including all of the educational games because I'm not going to count those. Pretty self-explanatory. I love the Doom series, and I generally upload Doom videos due to that statement, and it's definitely a game that really got me into first-person shooters, but not just that genre, but gaming as a whole. I think that's enough information for the first game, but the second game gotta be mentioned too. The second game was definitely the game that made me explored its software as a game developer, and it also enhanced my love for the Doom series too. I loved it, Doom 2, and it just felt like a perfect sequel when I first played it, and I do believe it still is probably the best video game sequel ever since I played it. It just basically took the original game and just vastly improved upon everything. Doom 2 basically, made me got into Wolfenstein and Quake, which are both great series on their own, and the game really made me discover one of my favorite video game developers ever, and I personally think id Software around 92 to 99 was really the best first-person shooter developer to ever existed. So that's pretty much it for the Doom series. Now we're gonna go with Halo. So the original game has so much impact on me as a gamer. It was my second console shooter I've played after GoldenEye for the N64, but this game made me feel more attached to FPS gaming on consoles. With that said, it pretty much converted me as a PC gamer to an Xbox gamer. I bought the original Halo for, the original Xbox, Halo 3 for Xbox 360, and Master Chief Collection for Xbox One. To be honest, if it weren't for Halo, I think I would still be, playing on my PC as my preferred platform, but ever since Halo existed, the Xbox is really my preferred platform. Halo 1 was my first game I went back to playing when I got out of my I only play new games phase, if you would say, and it was one of my earliest games I've used to make montages. I'm proud that I decided to start off with this game since I was playing Halo 3 when I was just playing nothing but new games back then, but I wasn't really enjoying Halo 3 as much as I thought I would, so I went back to Halo 1, and it made me realize that just because a game is older than this game doesn't mean the quality isn't as good or better. So yeah, I loved playing Halo 1 again, and eventually it encouraged me to play older games like Duke Nukem 3D and Doom. But I totally enjoyed the montages side of Halo. I really loved playing Halo 1 campaign on legendary difficulty. It was just a lot of fun to go through all that process, and watching all my old montages, I can still remember all the fun times I've had. I also really enjoyed watching old Halo 1 montages for inspirations and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, this game definitely had a lot of impact on me as a gamer, and that's why it's on this list. But there's another Halo game that I also want to talk about, and that's the third one. So Halo 3 is mostly impactful mainly because I remember I bought in all the hype that this game was thriving on, and it turned out that it didn't live up to the hype I was exposed to. So I got disappointed how it just didn't seem as good as I thought it would be, and it ruined my enjoyment of the game temporarily. But as time moved on, I learned to accept it as a solid game, and it still is a good sequel to the series. what I really learned from this game is to really not buy in the hype from all the game developers, because let's be honest, there's just bullshit at times. Like, look at Rage and how its software tried to, say it was going to be story driven and all of that stuff. Next up is the Warcraft series. So Warcraft 3 was awesome, and it was actually my first online game, but that's not the main reason why it's on this list. It's on it because it was always this game that really encouraged me to get better at it. I always enjoyed how there was always like something I could improve upon in that game, and yeah, that's really why it's on this list, since I pretty much am that person. When I, play a game, I try to find stuff that I can improve myself as a player. I guess I could put that it made me realize that I enjoy making custom maps with friends. I totally, have a lot of fun times, and I also just like how I'm still connected to some of my old Warcraft 3 friends to this day. It made me realize that your online friends can still be meaningful friends as time develops. And it was actually my very first game where I tried to make montages, even though I look back at them and I could totally do with a lot of stuff basically. Like, they were so simple, and I think I only made two of them. I probably lost my second one because I actually managed to find one of them and I uploaded on my channel. But yeah, I wish I could have done some things, but at the same time, it was my first time, and I don't know if I'll ever like try to make RTS montages compared to first person shooters, because let's be honest, montages and first person shooters, they just go well, they just fit well together basically. The second game I want to talk about in the Warcraft series was World of Warcraft. This was my first MMO game, and the main reason why it's on this list, it just made me realize how bad the MMO genre really is. It's just a waste of time. I didn't really get into it. I wasn't witnessing all that addiction, bad rep that the game was getting back in its, heyday. I just thought the game was boring, and like I said, it just felt like a waste of time. There was just no real reason to play it since it never ends. Yep, that's really why WoW is on this list. It just makes me realize that, I don't like MMOs, and I don't think I'll ever like it. And maybe, I guess, it kind of makes me realize that there are genres that might not fit for me, or genres that I'm not really too interested in. Call of Duty is next, and we got another two games in the series that I want to mention. First off, the original Modern Warfare. COD 4 Online is amazing, and I consider it to have some of the best FPS multiplayer experience ever existed, and there's so much reasons why I believe that, but that's not why it's on this list. It's on it because it made me rediscover my love for montage making. COD 4 was such a rush-friendly game, and I think it's because of how the maps were designed, and I kind of realized how montage-friendly it was just from that. Getting 3 kills with my primary and then switching to Desert Eagle for the fourth, it just screamed at me to make a montage. What do you know, I started making montages again when I stopped for whatever reason with Halo 1. I'm definitely always going to be making montages since they're a lot of fun to do. And I gotta promise myself not to stop again, because just, like Halo 1, I really loved going through the process of getting clips in Call of Duty 4, or any game that I feel like is montage friendly enough. Modern Warfare 2 is on this because of the YouTube scene. I remember when Modern Warfare 2 was all the rage back in 2009. I remember trying it out when my friends brought his copy, and we played split screen, and I was hooked. I actually did play COD 4 before Modern Warfare 2, but I was kind of like a Halo fanboy, so I didn't really give it a fair chance. But Modern Warfare 2 definitely got me into the Call of Duty series with its multiplayer for sure, and that's one thing I want to mention. And even though I did play Call of Duty 3 and enjoyed the campaign, but I never really got into the multiplayer, and I don't know if I was really a fan of Call of Duty back then, even though I enjoyed COD 3. I eventually discovered the YouTube scene by just trying to look up for tips and guides about the game, and I fell in love with how the Call of Duty YouTubers were doing their YouTube stuff, uploading gameplay and just commentating behind them. It used to be more about the game, but as time progressed, people just ran out of stuff to talk about because it would just get old and predictable, and it evolved into like a more personal commentary with gameplay video. I pretty much jumped on this bandwagon and decided to upload whatever gameplay I want to use and just commentating anything gaming related. So yeah, definitely a big influence from Modern Warfare 2 because, I was making videos before I discovered the Call of Duty YouTube scene, but I just felt like discovering, the Call of Duty YouTube scene kind of helped me figure out what I really want to do with my channel and help me create an identity, basically. I'm gonna end this video by mentioning Assassinators. So this game was extremely obscure. It was actually a re-release of a PC game called In Pursuit of Greed, which is more well known than Assassinators, but the game was really bad, and it was actually my first bad game I ever bought, and it made me realize that, there are bad games because I was really spoiled with all the games that I was playing a lot younger. Doom 1, 2, and Duke Nukem 3, so yeah, playing Assassinators was just garbage. It was just some crappy Doom clone, basically, and I did like the whole concept of having different characters with, like, different weapons and such, which did make the game, actually pretty unique at that time when it was released, but it was just so badly executed that I couldn't stand the game. I really wish I did not buy it from the bargain bin, since I mainly bought it because I think it was the cover. It just looked awesome from what I can remember. That's pretty much it for my list of games that have the most impact on me as a gamer. I know they're mostly games from a specific series, and I think I could mention a little more, but these were really the ones that I could think of when I was, thinking. I also tried to mention the personal stuff rather than like, this was my first horror game or first fighting game, and, that's why it's on this list. I did this to make the video more interesting for you guys to watch. I really got nothing else to say in this video, so I hope you enjoyed it, and you can put down your own if you want to, or comment on them, and like always, I will read them and possibly respond if I have something to say.